Trojan family, Trojan gang. Fight on forever is in the building. And today, we about to talk about the bashing that Lincoln Riley been facing in the media after that Big 10 media day. They trying to have a field day on your boy Lincoln Riley. You know the media love to hate Lincoln Riley, the fans too. Oklahoma, the SEC. Lincoln Riley is the dude right now that everybody outside LA love to hate. But before we get on that, let me start off with some positive the media had to say about Lincoln Riley and our team USC. Jake Butt said D'Anton Lynn will have that defense significantly improved this year. USC will be competing for a conference championship. And Jake Butt, he know what he talking about, because if you know football, you know coaching, you know USC has assembled an all-star class of defensive coaches. It's like an all-star team. It's like a dream team. It's like the 92 dream team over there, right? So if we got any lick of talent, that defense gonna ball out, and we know we got talent, right? Now, during his interview, his press conference for the Big 10 media day, Lincoln Riley said, he told the media, they asked some questions about the program and NIL and things of that nature. And he said, we're playing catch up in facilities, which he's not lying. They building a new facility. They been put the shovel in the ground. I think it's supposed to be ready in 2026. So they catching up there. He said it's going to be one of the best facilities in the world. He said it's going to be the best facility at recovering. It's going to specialize in recovering athletes from injuries, healing, and get ready week to week. USC gonna need that with the extra travel in the Big 10. He's saying we playing catch up in NIL, which is true. USC is playing catch up in NIL. Anybody that know USC football know USC is struggling in the NIL department, right? He said we've been playing catch up in damn near every avenue, right? So, they had a field day with that. Right? And USC fans, we get it. We ain't mad at Lincoln Riley saying this, because this is what we deal with every day in USC circles. This is the main topic. NIL. That's the main topic in USC circles, right? Now, they got on him, especially the Oklahoma dudes, right? When he said that, people just went off their rocker. This is fascinating considering the conversations around his departure from Oklahoma. Now, one of his reasons for leaving Oklahoma, I didn't hear that out of Lincoln Riley mouth, but when you ask the people down there, they say he was saying the same thing, like the facilities that, the program wasn't up to par surrounding him. So they like, this is fascinating that he's saying that at USC, because this is what he left Oklahoma for. This is like the old girlfriend being mad. It's like you complaining about the old girlfriend not cooking, then you get with another girl and she ain't cooking either. They be like, why you leave me for? I wasn't cooking that. You got a new girl and she ain't cooking. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. They love to hate him, right? Another thing Lincoln Riley said, and I didn't agree with this one. He said that USC would consider canceling the Notre Dame series, right? That's a no. That's a hell no, right? Keep that rivalry. That's the greatest rivalry in college sports. USC is number 1 and 2 at NFL Hall of Famers. When it comes to NFL Hall of Famers, Pro Bowlers, like USC and Notre Dame is at the top of the list, and everybody else is a distant third, right? So you can't get rid of that rivalry. So let me let y'all hear what Lincoln Riley had to say about that, and I'm going to get back with y'all. Let me know what y'all think. I think we got to keep the Notre Dame rivalry at all costs. Like, the Big 10 is not that tough to where we got to throw away the Notre Dame rivalry, right? There's plenty cupcake games in the Big 10. Minnesota, Rutgers, Maryland, Michigan State, Purdue, Northwestern. It's plenty cupcake teams, right? Them teams ain't no better than the Washington States, Oregon States, Arizona States, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, Cal, Stanford, UC. It ain't no better than them teams, right? They are on the same level. And I'll take that Pac-12 bunch over that Big 10 bunch that's not named Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. Every other team, I'll take the Pac-12 team over, right? But let's listen to what Lincoln Riley said about that Notre Dame rivalry.
I would love to. I know it means, you know, a lot to a lot of people, and so the purist in you, no doubt. Now, if you get in a position where you got to make a decision on what's best for SC to help us win a national championship versus keeping that, shoot, then you got to look at it. I mean, and listen, we're not the first example of that. Look all the way across the country. There's been a lot of other teams sacrifice rivalry games. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but you know, as we get into this playoff structure, and if it changes or not, we get in this new conference, like, we're going to learn some about this as we go, and what the right and the best track is, you know, to winning a national championship. Like, that's going to evolve. Bama was ahead of the curve for years, I thought, on how they scheduled in the non-conference, right? They would occasionally hit the marquee non-conference game. They played two other, you know, not very good teams. They play one late so that they got essentially a little bit of a bye week right there late in the season when season's been going on, you're a little beat up. Like, they didn't schedule for their fans. Like, they scheduled to win championships. And so my hope is we can do the best thing, schedule to win championships, and that includes a rivalry game that, you know, for all that comes with that and all that it means. But if you get in those positions, you got to make a decision on what the priority is. And yeah, it's not an easy answer.
Now they saying he's scared of Notre Dame. He's scared of Notre Dame now. But I agree. He shouldn't have said that. I agree. Like, that's out. Like, when you become the coach at USC, you got to embrace the tradition, right? You got to embrace what it means of being the Trojan. And you ain't been the Trojan if you're trying to cancel out the Notre Dame rivalry. That's a part of USC history. That's been going on, since 1920 something. And it's a great rivalry. A highlight on the schedule every year. One of them games where it don't matter the record. So I disagree with that, but he don't deserve all the smoke that he getting from it. Talking about he's scared of Notre Dame. And they also got on him about bringing Nick Saban in it. The SEC fans came out. They was talking a mess. I didn't put it in the video, like, all the mess they was talking about Nick Saban, but I mean about Lincoln Riley. But they made a little point, like they tried to make a point with this right here. So they showing Nick Saban reached 8 college football playoffs during those years. They played the following non-conference power teams. And that list looked decent, right? West Virginia, Wisconsin, USC, FSU, Miami, Texas, right? That Miami team was overrated. That USC team, we had Max Brown going into that game and finished the season with Sam Darnold, who I think was the first quarterback one of the top players took in the draft. So that non-conference schedule ain't as powerful as it looked, but it's decent, right? But what people fail to realize is they schedule that around 3 other non-conference cupcake opponents, 2 others. So for every Power 5 that Alabama may have had, they had an SCS school scheduled as a cupcake team. And I got a graphic to show that nobody scheduled more cupcakes than the SEC in Alabama. Nobody scheduled more cupcakes, and I'm finna show you, right? So the SEC fans, y'all can't talk at all. Once I finish show you this slide, you're gonna have to shut up and slide. Look at this. To be the SCS school, just say the most wins. The most FCS wins. To win the FCS game, guess what? You gotta play. And look who's at the top of look at all the teams on this list. All SEC. Texas, A&M, SEC, Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi State. Y'all know what time it is. That's half the SEC. And if they went further down, I bet you the SEC probably got the top. How many teams the SEC got? 14. Now they got 16. Somewhere around there. I bet you the top 14 teams in FCS wins is all SEC school. This is ridiculous. So Trojan fans, whatever Trojan fans watching this, or Big 10 fan watching this, or Big 12 fan watching this, Show them this graphic when the SEC come talking about anybody's schedule. Show them this, and they can't say nothing but shut the hell up. And so y'all see the comments, like, y'all can read them. This is what they saying about our coach. Lincoln Riley should have a major chip on his shoulder. I know he say he don't listen, but this should motivate Lincoln Riley to come out and give his best coaching performance this season, because his stock ain't never been so low. His stock ain't never been so low. Lincoln Riley, you better come out, and USC better ball beyond expectation this year. Better ball, you know what I'm saying? People predicting USC to go 6-6. Lincoln Riley better hit them double digits this year to let them know what time it is, man. More comments talking. People saying he making the USC job feel like the UAB job. Well, these casual fans don't know how far back our NIL is. They don't know the psychological effect that sanctions had on USC and still is on USC. So if I was outside looking in, I probably think the same thing, right? Like, Lincoln Riley, stop making excuses. You at USC. But USC, when Lincoln Riley came, was functioning at a level of a UAB. I mean, let's keep it real, right? And speaking on how USC is functioning, let's talk about it. Lincoln Riley talked about the USC NIL and Dave Emmerich, right? So I want y'all to check that out. Listen to this.
College football is seemingly grown a lot and is continuing to grow, with revenue sharing on the horizon, with NIL still uncertain. How big do you feel like that role will be in the future, and how have you evaluated where Dave Emmerich has been in just sort of navigating those landscape changes?
Yeah, everybody has, and then everybody will use that role differently, coming forward. And it's not, you're going forward. It's not just going to be a GM. I mean, you're talking about, there's going to be significant staff changes all across college football to get ready for revenue sharing and salary caps. And I mean, it's very much going towards a very professional model from a staff standpoint. Everybody's going to do it in their own way, but that part's going to be important. I think Dave's done a really good job. He's worked hand in hand with our collective, and I know we've already talked off to the side. I mean, which is, our collective has made a massive jump. I mean, again, starting from zero. I mean, 0.00 when we got there to now. He's done a great job with that. Dave played a prominent role in hiring this defensive staff that everybody's giddy about right now, and has helped us put together really that group and done an outstanding job. He's done a lot of things behind the scenes with our new facility, and I think certainly his role is going to evolve going forward, as is really the rest of that department for us.
Lincoln, your first Big 10 game is in Ann Arbor.
You see that there? Look like Dave Emmerich staying. Just a few weeks ago, like a week ago, we was hearing rumors out of SC that Dave Emmerich about to get canned, and the leadership of the NIL is about to change. Well, unless Lincoln Riley just flat out lying, right? Seem like Dave Emmerich ain't going nowhere. That's why you can't believe half the stuff you hear, and you know what I'm saying, and don't believe nothing you don't see, right? So you gotta wait till it come out the horse's mouth. Now, is it coach speak? Is Lincoln Riley lying, not telling the in-house drama? Or is they really impressed with Dave Emmerich, right? I done heard otherwise. So is Lincoln lying, or this is the truth? Man, I don't know. I just hope he is. I hope it ain't his fault. I always felt like you couldn't put it on one man, but it do gotta fall on the head. So if USC just crash and burn, at the end of the day, Lincoln Riley gonna have to take the blame for that, right? So every leader, much is expected, much is given, much is expected. So if you responsible, if you own a business, it's ultimately your fault if you didn't hire the right employees to get the job done. So it is partly Dave Emmerich's fault, but I mean, I guess they feel like his philosophy ain't wrong. I guess they feel like it is. I don't know. USC fans, what y'all think about Dave Emmerich? Because we just heard he was getting canned and he wasn't doing a great job, and Lincoln Riley just sat here and said he's doing a great job. And you know, Josh Callaway, Big Hayden, Lincoln Riley putting together a all-time bad showing at Big 10 Media Days. Good Lord. Let me go through some of the. It was more. I didn't even want to get all of it. You feel me? Say, yeah, he's full of it because he's on the hot seat 100% of why he left here. He knew we were on the decline every year, slipping, blah, blah, blah. Oklahoma fans. You know what I'm saying? So, look at Aunt Lucas. Now, I know I'm bouncing around now, but this is what I was talking about. That dog work, I'm looking at Anthony Lucas, and I'm expecting him to break out because he got that 5-star type talent, right? When Anthony Lucas came to USC, he was already like at 280, 285. Alex Grinch and his program made him lose weight, dropped him down to like 265, and had him playing a stand-up position at the edge rush. I always felt like, just like coming out of high school and even at Texas A&M, Anthony Lucas is a defensive end that need to play with his hand in the dirt, close to 295, 300. He's 6'5". He got the frame to put on 300, 295 easy on the defensive end side of the ball, right? So look at the new program that Deanton Lynn and Billy Wiley got USC on. Look at the arm difference. Just look at the arm difference and look at the leg difference. He thicker, he bulkier, he more muscular, he's stronger. He's going to be more explosive. So with new added strength with this kid and Coach Henny, that dog work, expect big things from Anthony Lucas. Another thing Riley talked about that I didn't necessarily agree with, and y'all know I don't from what I said about the Big 10 earlier. I don't feel like the Big 10 is no better or no tougher than the Pac-12 was. Only thing about the Big 10 is they have more rabid fans, right? They have better football environments. Like, so when we go on the road, we gonna face teams with more passionate fans, right? It ain't gonna be the laid back West Coast fans like these schools, even of the sorry schools like the Purdue's and the Indiana's, and they fans go crazy though. So the atmosphere, we gonna feel the atmosphere on the road. They're gonna feel more like college football. You know what I'm saying? With these schools. But as far as talent on the field, no. No, like USC historically smacked up on the Big 10. Like historically, Pac-12 teams been too fast for Big 10 teams. Like, right? Outside of Ohio State, I think all the Big 10 teams got a losing record in the Rose Bowl against the Pac-12. If I'm not mistaken, I know USC is like, 25-9. So USC got the Pac-12 up like 16 plus by themselves, right? So listen what Lincoln Riley had to say about Big 10 competition.
We'll find out a little. I mean, compared to the Pac-12, I think the road venues are going to consistently be better. And I think you're talking about just a deeper, more talented, more good teams in terms of conference. Now, you're not playing everybody, so, some of that gets offset a little bit. But, yeah, you're talking about a real high-quality conference that, year in and year out is, you go win this conference, you're probably one of the best 1, 2, or 3 teams in the country. Right? Like it's going to take that every single year to win this thing, which is cool, man. That's what you want to be in.
Like when you're talking to Coach Lynn about coming to work, what are the conversations like about what he needs in practice for the defense and what you need in practice for the offense?
Yeah, I've always been one on that I'll adapt to what
That's why I disagree at. That's why I disagree. I don't think it's going to be tougher competition as far as talent-wise. I think it might be tougher road games per se because of their atmospheres. It's like going up to Autzen or Washington, you know what I'm saying, every week. That's how the environment going to be every week, even for the trash teams. So it's probably gonna be more likely for us to be upset on the road against a team we should beat than necessarily in the Pac-12. But besides, they got better home field advantages, and it's a higher chance of facing inclement weather. I don't think it's tougher. But do that make the Big Ten tougher? What y'all think? Do they environment and the chance of inclement weather, do that make the Big Ten tougher, especially on the road? What y'all fans think, man? And then Lincoln Riley also talked about facing Oregon and Ohio State competing with their NL. And check out what he said.
What's it like in the short term when you walk into the Big Ten and Oregon and Ohio State are pushing those 7-figure NIL budgets?
I think I just answered it. I mean, our collective is probably the most improved collective in the country and continues to improve. I'm not too concerned about what everyone else is doing.
He said our collective is the most improved. What does that mean, though? What does that mean? Do that mean? Because you just said that we behind on NIL. So how behind is we? If we the most improved and we still behind? Is you saying we can't compete with Oregon and Ohio State with NIL, or we can't? Like, which one is it? So them the only things I kind of question that right there. Like, 1 minute it's great things about the NIL, then another minute is we way behind, we trying to get caught up, right? So the NIL cloud that still looms over USC, it's still looming over us, right? And I guess we gonna just find out in the future. Hopefully, if we don't get our NIL together, hopefully revenue sharing can save us, right? Hopefully revenue sharing will make it easier, right, to recruit and to compete, because USC makes billions. So if USC is willing to have a good revenue sharing, even though I think it's going to be like a cap salary on that, but once they can have revenue sharing and the university get used to and in the flow of putting money in the football program as far as the players, then maybe the university could donate to the NIL group. Like, what would stop USC, the university, from donating to House of Victory? I mean, the university, they could donate to the poor. They could write checks to homeless centers and hospitals, right? I done seen it. So why can't they write a check to House of Victory? I don't know, right? But we gonna see in the future. And this is news and notes around Lincoln Riley Day at the Big Ten. I done had no problem with Link, but people love to hate Lincoln Riley. He the one that they love to hate right now. So they must kind of fear him. I've been thinking, like, if they hate him so much, they must see the potential. I think everybody just fears the day that Lincoln Riley, if he ever get a defense, right? That's what I think it is. They hoping that his star die out, that you could negatively talk about him and lower his tier in the coaching rank, right? You could lower his tier in the coaching rank and get him out of college football, get him demoted down to offensive coordinator or something. Because if this man ever gets a defense, he gonna run off some chips. Like, it ain't a year that Lincoln Riley been a head coach and his offense was at national championship level. So if I was other fans and media and I knew this about this man, I would want him out the way too. Because if he ever get a defense, it's over. It's a wrap. It's night. You know what I'm saying? It's night. Because ain't nobody better offensively. And let's keep it real. His Oklahoma and USC rosters never been as talented as them Georgia rosters, Alabama rosters, even Ohio State roster, right? So Lincoln Riley ain't never had the talent of a Nick Saban, a Dabo Swinney, a Ryan Day. I didn't went back and looked at them Oklahoma teams. Lincoln Riley always had that second tier right above that elite talent, right? He never had that first class, that 5-star elite talent, not even at Oklahoma. I don't care what y'all say. Especially not on the defensive side of the ball. And not even always on the offensive side of the ball. It's just that he had a great quarterback to make it work and to get the most out the players on the team on the offensive side of the ball. If Lincoln Riley ever get a defense, if Lincoln Riley ever acquire the talent level at some of these other schools, it's night-night. They know it's night-night. They know it's a wrap. He's a problem without a defense. So they know if he get a defense, it's a wrap. He's going to run off some championships. He is. So we just got to stick it out with Link, man. I had to evaluate. We got to stick it out and see what he look like with a defense. Because he's pure gold on offense. Right? So the key is to see if he can keep his string going, having great quarterbacks, right? So let's see if Miller Moss be great. If Miller Moss be great, you can't tell me nothing else about this man on the offensive side of the ball, right? Because nobody projected Miller Moss to be a star. If Miller Moss is a star, this is a wrap. It's good night. Case closed about Lincoln Riley being that offensive genius and that quarterback whisperer. All he needs is a defense, and it's a wrap. So until then, y'all, it's Carter Sports, it's Trojan City, it's SC. So let's go.